So doing a spark plug change in a 2017 Yamaha Viking. So what are you going to need for this? You're going to need a torque wrench. So you'll need a spark plug socket and a ratchet, and an extender I think will help quite a bit. And then you'll need a spark plug, and so this is the one Yamaha recommends, so I won't bother reading it off, but you can get the number right there, and you can use that. You can source these at most auto parts stores. And a dust gun. So this is connected to my air compressor, but yeah, you're going to want to use this to get any dust away from where the spark plug socket is. So step one is, let's go ahead and dust off the engine. Okay, so I'm on the back side of the machine. They have this lifting tail bed, and basically all you're going to want to do is lift this handle up, and that releases the locking mechanism, and then you can lift back this gate. It's the dump bed, basically, I guess is what I should say. So get the dump bed up, and that gives you access to the engine. And this is the driver's side, and I don't know if you can see it. It is definitely, let me get zoomed in there. All right, so it might be hard to find. So here is your spark plug. This is a spark plug boot, but you can see I'll rub my hand on it. There's all kinds of dust and dirt on this thing, so I'm going to take my dust gun right now, and I'm going to spray off all the dust so that there's no chance of any of this debris getting in the spark plug. Once we remove the spark plug, getting in the engine, because that would be not good. Could damage the engine. So okay, let's go ahead and dust this off. Now that I've dusted it off and the dust is mostly settled, let's go ahead and remove the spark plug boot. So you're going to pull this guy off. Tight spot. Let's see if I can do it. Alright, I'm going to use two hands, so I'll do that off camera, but then I'll show you what comes next. So I've got the spark plug boot off. So there's the spark plug down in there. So next step is, let's get the spark plug socket and get that spark plug out. So this is, by the way, a 5/8 inch spark plug socket. So I'm going to get my wrench in there. Okay. Certainly this is not a ton of fun working underneath this dump bed. There we go. Okay, so I just broke it loose. So once I get it loose, then what I will do is just remove the ratchet, and I'll just hand twist. And there are a ton of threads on this thing. So just understand you're going to be unscrewing this for a decent amount of time. Okay, it's free. Oops. Okay, well that was less than ideal. So let me go fish that out from where I dropped it from, and then we'll go look at the spark plug. Okay, so I've got the spark plug out. So here's the old plug, and then here's the new plug, and so never hurts to compare the two. Make sure they're the same length. They are. You can check the threads, looks good. So, and obviously, if you check the model number, you can see that they are basically the same exact plug. But all right, so that's checking that. So then the gap on these is supposed to be 0.031 through 0.035 fractions of an inch. Now, I admit I dropped this, which I shouldn't have, but I still have a hard time believing I bent the electrode. So this is literally gapped incorrectly, it looks like, because this is way tighter than the gapping tool. So unless that's what it hit on, it somehow bent, then, but it just doesn't seem likely to me this was incorrectly gapped. Here's the new plug. And if we take a look at it and I gap it, so now you can see I'm right within spec. So this is good to go to put in the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the plug. You can technically clean and re-gap it. There's obviously carbon on here that should be cleaned off. But you know, if you're going to take the plug out, I always say the plugs are cheap enough. Why not just put in a new one, and then you don't have to worry about it. And then if you drop it, luckily you can see I didn't crack the porcelain, so this would probably be fine if you cleaned it up and gapped it. But all right, let's go ahead and put this in the machine. Okay, so time to put in the spark plug. So I do not have a ratchet attached, but I have the spark plug in the spark plug socket. And so what I'm going to do here is just lower this in and try and get it into the slot there. It's going to be a little hard to do on camera because it's a real tight spot. So go ahead and do this off camera and I'll talk about how to torque it down. Okay, so I got the spark plug threaded or started off camera. You want to be super careful not to cross thread a spark plug. Also on power sports stuff like this, you don't have to put anti-seize on. That's really for cars, and the reason that is the spark plugs stay in the car a very long time, maybe up to 90,000, 100,000 miles. So you don't want to end up not putting anti-seize on that because you'll never get those spark plugs out. But if you're following the maintenance schedule for this, then you're going to end up pulling the spark plug out every year, and therefore you don't have to worry about that because it's not going to be in there for a tremendous amount of time. All right, so I basically now have this finger tight. So let's next thing to do is torque it down. So I'm going to go ahead and get my torque wrench and let's do that. Okay, so we need to torque down the spark plug. The torque spec is 9.4 foot-pounds, so multiply that by 12 and you should get 112.8. So obviously my torque wrench is not at that exact, so I'm doing 113 foot-pounds. So now let's get this in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just torque down the spark plug. Okay, and you can give it a couple clicks, make sure you're at spec, and so that's it. So now the last thing to do is to basically put the boot on. So let's go ahead and put the boot on. Okay, and push it down really good. Okay, so the boot's on, so that's it. So that's how you change the spark plugs in a 2017 Yamaha Viking. As always, thank you for watching, and if you like my content, please subscribe, like, and comment below.